morning. What are you guys doing? You gonna get in the box? And you're just gonna sit in the stairs and stare at everything. Such is life. Good morning, everyone. I decided to look up coffee filters, and the Chemex brand coffee filters have gone up in price since the last time I bought them. I don't know how paper goes up in price. It is just paper. So I thought I would try these. Bake Choice. Made by Bake Choice. Interesting. Since 2003, so you know it's good. These are pre-folded coffee filters. They're 100% wood pulp. They're from Canada. And there's 50 of them in here. Unfold a coffee filter to form a shape of a cone. Now, these are all folded like this, just like the Chemex ones are. So I would assume, yep, we can just do that and stick it in there. These do feel a lot thinner. I don't think that will affect anything. So this is the Chemex paper on this side. And this is our Bake Choice. Yeah, the paper, this paper is a little bit thinner. It's a little bit more, it's got ripples in it. This is more like a solid sheet of paper. So we'll have to see. No particulates are gonna get through it. It's just a matter of busting. So let's see how that works. But you know, this definitely feels a lot stronger than these ones that I'm using for the Clever. These ones burst like immediately upon use. So I don't even think I got through one before it bursts in this and bursted in this Chemex. So we're going to use this as we would. 49 now. But yeah, I saw this. Yeah, it's like the paper that I purchased, because I bought a 100 pack. Natural Squares 100. I bought a 100 pack, and they're like, hey, that's not available anymore. But here's another 100 pack sold by Chemex that's a lot more. And I think this was, I don't even think this was 10 bucks for 50. So we'll see how this goes. That's interesting. Also, yesterday, I ordered for the AeroPress, I ordered the gasket that goes at the bottom that will alleviate the inverted method, because all of the coffee will stay solid and put until I put pressure on it, like I talked about yesterday. The AeroPress one, AeroPress does sell one. The AeroPress one, however, comes with just the 34 grams of coffee here. Just the device itself. It doesn't come with a mesh. You have to buy the AeroPress mesh separately. I bought one from Fellow, and Fellow makes a bunch of coffee stuff. They make grinders, they make good grinders, they make good scales. And they make this wonderful electric kettle that I've been looking at for the longest time, because I think electric kettles are neat. I've watched people review it, and they say the pour is really great, but the pour is really great on my kettle, but electric kettle might be cool. So they make coffee apparati, and they also make an adapter for the AeroPress that will allow it to do the valved filter at the bottom. It comes with a metal mesh filter, and it costs altogether less than buying the AeroPress stuff separately. AeroPress stuff seems to have gone up in price. I think the original owner retired, and he was very, I don't want to change, it's not broken. And of course, all new people that do new things that want to come in and stir up the company, let's do all of it. So they've made different sizes, larger, extra large. They've upped the prices. You now get less paper as a whole. I mean, this paper has lasted me since I bought the AeroPress. It came with all of this paper. Actually came with this much paper. So as long as I've had the AeroPress, I've had paper. So now you don't even get this much paper in the new AeroPresses. So you know, it's just what they do. New minds, fresh ideas. Be tolerant. All right. Anyway, so we're back with the black ka'awa. Is that right? Coffee. The East African coffee that is roasted here in Columbus. You can kind of see, as illustrated right here. From Columbus to the world. Cool. So we're going to do that. Water's heating up. 34 grams of light roast. Nice. All right. Water's hot. We'll go up to about 450. But so that should be here tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. This one, yes. Pretty excited about that. It'll be a lot of fun to experiment with that tomorrow. Someone left a comment saying that they're going to start doing pour-overs, which is really cool. Pour-overs are great. The most intimidating thing to me about a pour-over is the fact that if you don't get it right the first time, you may go through a lot of coffee before you... You know, coffee is a weird hobby because in the end, you want to get a great cup of coffee. The problem is by the time you reach that great cup of coffee, you can go through bags, you know, and you have to get the same coffee to try to find the right flavor, or at the very least the same roast, which may be a little less daunting, but you know, the same coffee over and over again can get a little meh. So, but pour over, like I mentioned, Lance Hendricks and James Hoffman both have really good guides, and I've been following their guides for a while, and then I've just been adjusting to my own taste, so how I feel, how I want the coffee to look, how I want it to taste, that kind of a thing, as I've gone. And, you know, I'm just doing 1 cup a day. There are very rare occasions where I'm doing this, where I'm making multiple cups because maybe I'm illustrating color, maybe I'm illustrating flavor, I'm talking about the smell, that kind of a thing. But mostly, all of this is just one and done. I'm not sitting here retaking. It's just one straight shot that I edit together to edit out ums and uhs and pauses, and where I'm trying to think of something and can't think of it, which happens a lot. So this is all just one straight, as straight as I can be, thing. So it seems daunting, it seems intimidating, but if you love coffee and you love the flavor of coffee, even your worst cup potentially could still taste good, you know, get you through the day. It's like Grandma Smith, Matt's Grandma Smith, when she would make a pie, and she said, "Oh, that pie, that's not very good. I'll make another one." Everybody's like, "Don't throw away the old one, because to you worst is absolutely delicious. So don't throw away the old one," you know? So, you know, it's just a matter and you're just working for you, you know, and once you get yourself to a good place, you know, then you can start making coffee for other people and be like, "This is what I like. What do you think? How would you change it? What do you want to try to accomplish with your coffee?" So, and this is illustrating just how light this roast really is. Actually, it's very see-through, because the normal medium roast that we put through here, you can't see the bottom of the carafe at all, but this is like very, very light. So, I mean, it's not a very light roast, it's just a very light color. Yeah, and that's a really nice bed. Everything went together really well. Someday, I'll get that Encore ESP as a step up from this. As much as I do enjoy this, the ESP will probably do a better grind. You know, maybe someday I want to do espresso. I would love to do an espresso grind for the AeroPress and the new apparatus that I'm getting for it that should be here today. But I don't know, we'll see. So that was, that's a pretty good drawdown. It's about 3.5 minute drawdown. It's just basically been dripping here. This does seem a tinge flimsier than the Chemex papers, but I don't feel like as I sit here and do this, it's going to rip and tear and come apart on me. Remember, piss, shirt, bend, bar. Remember that. Piss, shirt, bend, bar. Anyway. It does have a very nutty smell to it. We'll let that cool down just a little bit. So I don't really have much of anything else to talk about. Got the credit card paid down from the November and December spending, which is great because that's Christmas time. So I try to do what I can, and then it's always like, oh God, what have I done? So, but that was, and then I was so excited because I thought I was going to have it paid off, and then Mom's like, well, we need to fly down to Florida. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's $700 for 2 people to fly there and back again, which I guess doesn't seem like a lot, but still, our flights, I mean, that's just the Orlando airport. I mean, our flights, when we flew to Columbia, we flew into Fort Lauderdale and then took another plane down to the airport down in Columbia. It wasn't $300 some odd. It might have been 200. So, I mean, and that's, how far is that, you know? You could actually do that, fly to Fort Lauderdale, and then just miss your flight. I mean, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts how all of this stuff works anymore. Yeah, that is so light. This is such a lovely color. Ooh, the flavor is very bright. It's a lot brighter than, and you know, by bright, I mean, you put it in your mouth and you go to swallow and then you're hit like, ooh, you know, like a up feeling in your mouth, you know, bright, you know. If it's dark, it's like, ooh, you know, it's a very dark, roasty feeling, ooh, you know, but bright, you know, it hits your mouth and you're like, woo, you know, that's, what a flavor, you know. It is a sweet, naturally sweet coffee that definitely tastes like a little bit of fruit in it. I think they say stone fruit, which I'm not familiar with stone fruit. I think it's a more mild sweetness, I think. But I've never had a stone fruit before. But these, you know, it's definitely got a little bit of a nutty taste to it. The smell is very nutty, but wow. Well, it's just very bright in your mouth. It like hits those without making them electrify like lemon juice does. It hits those receptors like in your mouth and in your tonsils that kind of just perk up, you know. They're like, ooh, this is interesting. And I mean, that's just for me. Your mileage is going to vary, but I think I think that this really hits a nice spot. I might have to change that up and start hitting light roast stuff. It'd be nice. I have hopes, well, as any human being does, I have hopes that the trip to Florida will go well, that Mom is overreacting like she kind of does sometimes. Most of the time, though, it's a reality, even though it seems like she's very over the top sometimes. It is the reality of the situation, you know, she's not overreacting. She's reacting, but she's just being dramatic about it. But it's the right amount when you get to the point, it's the right amount of reacting, even though at the time you're like, just calm the fuck down. So I'm hoping that after 20 days in the facility, he'll get something back to where he can use a walker. So yeah, I'm just hoping that's just what happens. I mean, he's never going to be able to drive again. I know that for sure. Because he was driving up until he fell, you know. I don't know how well he was driving. I mean, if you watched any person over 80 interact with a vehicle and then interact with other vehicles on the road, There might be a small percentage of them that can do it fine, but the vast majority do not, you know, and we can't take that small minority of people that can function and apply that to an overall spectrum, because that's dangerous. You know, that's a dangerous thing. As much as I don't want to take that stuff away from people, especially my grandfather, it's just, you know, you just can't anymore. And, you know, it's sad to think about, but, you know, we'll have to go down there and we'll probably have to make some decisions that he's not going to like. So Mom will, you know, I'll try to analyze what I can and come up with either something better or an argument for or an argument against. I mean, that's the best I can do. I can't. I can't. And I know that they're going to get tired and they're going to want to do something. So selfishly, very, very selfishly, I'm hoping that there will be a day after we get through the weekend, at the very least, where they're like, we need to get out of the house and go do something. And I'm hoping that that will be our cue to drive an hour and a half to Daytona, or an hour and 45 minutes to New Smyrna, or, you know, I'd love to go back up to, what is it? But it's to the north of Daytona it's a larger city. And I got the Jimmy Buffett song in my head, but boy have I misplaced the lyric. Not St. Martin. No, that's someplace completely different. I'll cut all this out. Something about tourists. St. Augustine. You can harbor tourists in St. Augustine, or something like that. But it's St. Augustine. St. Augustine's beautiful. I love that place. I would love to go back there and wander the streets again. Matt hated it because it was hot. It was a hot day when we went there, and he absolutely loathed it. And I'm like, I'd love to go back to St. Augustine and just look, because that town is beautiful. It's got so much beautiful architecture. It's just right there on the ocean. It's really cool. So, but yeah, harbor tourists in St. Augustine. Yeah. I think harbor tourists in St. Augustine. Yeah, St. Augustine's gorgeous. Just to pull out of Ocala, where we're landlocked, and just go do something while we're down there. I know that she really wants to see the beach, so that might be enough of a pull to do that. So we'll see. We will see. I know Granddad's place has a pool down there. We'll have to see how that goes. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. No. What are you doing? Huh? Come on. Don't you ignore me. There you are. I suppose we'll do brushes today if that's what you want. Oh, she saw him coming, so she's like, I don't want to be around that. He stinks. And I'm like, I'm a box cat. I don't care what you think. I am a box cat. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. The general consensus from me on this is that it seems fine. These are fine. They're a little bit thinner than the Chemex papers, but they work really well because they're not just glued together paper things. This is a full sheet of paper like I showed you, and then it's just folded up. So the likelihood that it's going to, under a load of 34 grams of coffee and then water passing through up to 400 grams, 450 grams, it seems to hold up really well. And I can't taste the paper. That's what's really nice about these unbleached things. But these are by Bake Choice. They're coming from Canada, wood pulp from Canada, by Canada. That's what I intend on doing. And Bake Choice since 2003. Bake Choice, what an interesting name. It seems like one of those throwaway names and then you realize Bake Choice, that's actually not a bad name. I mean, Baker's Choice is taken. So Baking Choice is probably taken. And it's just weird though that it's a coffee filter, but it's like Bake Choice. Sure. We will talk to you tomorrow. I will get the thing for the AeroPress today, and we will open it all together tomorrow. And we will make some coffee with it. I'm pretty excited. I like getting new stuff. I was excited when this arrived yesterday. I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to be able to try this tomorrow because it's fun to get new stuff. I don't get new stuff very often because coffee stuff can be expensive, and the things that I want, pretty expensive. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. See ya. Bye.